Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer. A beautiful Monday it is. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? It is your Sunshine stepping into Sunshine's Corner on this Monday. I trust that you had a wonderful weekend, and I tell you, I'm sure everybody's out and about shopping because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. I tell you, everybody, every store you go in, somebody's there. But look, I want to tell you this again to remind you, let's not forget the reason for the celebration. Let's not forget the giver and all those gifts. Okay, let's not forget the giver that we are supposedly supposed to be recognizing and remembering and celebrating. Let's not forget him. Christmas has been commercialized, so it's like the giver is put behind. No, when he is in front. It is Monday, and I tell you, I always start off with things that are so important to us, and I tell you, I want to talk today because of the fact of it is something that's so real that we very seldom talk about: domestic violence. And when I say domestic violence, you probably think just one area, but there are so many different entities that one word that it covers. And today I have a young lady that's with me, and she's going to be talking with us about the effects, the stages, all of the things, why you won't talk it out, why are you silent, why you won't speak on something that's so incredibly important for your safety, for your life, for your families. And Yolanda?
Hello.
I tell you, Miss Yolanda Ortiz, did I do it right?
Ortiz, but it's
Ortiz,
fine.
I always say Ortiz.
It's okay, everybody does.
Oh, everybody does. Well, good morning, my dear, and thank you for getting up on this Monday morning to talk about a difficult conversation, which I think it shouldn't be that difficult, but I can imagine, and when you say domestic violence, how some people want to keep that hidden.
Yes, they do.
And
so many it's a hidden spirit.
Really?
It honestly is.
I tell you. And to think about that, and I'm going to go ahead and step on this. Should I say that you have been in the midst of domestic violence?
Definitely so. So much so to I just had a telephone call with my son on Saturday in recognizing that some of the roots of my domestic violence, sometimes you go back to things because it feels familiar.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't have to be in a marriage. It could be in a family member, especially during these holidays.
Yeah.
People go back and they think they're getting together with family, and they're maybe hurting themselves even further.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But now I want to make this point to you as well today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to invite you to be into this conversation. I want to hear from you. If you are a domestic violence survivor, if there's something that you would like to share with those that are viewing today that could possibly help another person who's somewhat in that point of saying that I've got to be silent, that I can't say anything, that I've got to do this because I want to maintain my sanity, when really you're harming yourself. Yes. And I invite you to do that at 850-432-7768. You can call or text. And you know something else I want to bring out, because during my study, when I said I was going to talk about this, Yolanda, I found out that domestic violence can be affected by a man as well.
Yes.
A man is also one that can be affected by domestic violence. You would think when you say that, you always think it's the ladies.
No.
But men go through it too.
Men definitely go through it too. Most people don't realize that usually domestic violence is a cycle. And it's a vicious cycle. And if you don't stop it, or at least put a halt to it somewhere, put a roadblock, that a mother who may have been molested or raped or domestic violence by her husband or family members will turn around and violence to her son, and then the son then is now a violent man.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. When you brought on all of these, I noticed I'm stammering because I noticed so many other names when you said sexual.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So therefore, when it boils down to that domestic violence, that's what I want people to realize. Now, this is not a conversation that you should shy away from.
No.
This is a conversation that you should really want to be a part of. So if there are things that you have noticed or things that may be going on, even with your children that you're not aware of, that these are the time that you take these notes so you can start being more aware of what's going on.
Definitely. I mean, and if you see a child that's acting out, most of the time people just think, oh, that's a bad kid. 99% of the time, I personally will tell you, a child acting out, there is a root to the problem. There's something causing the child to act out. The abuser may have told the child not to tell anybody, not to let anybody know that they're their favorite ones. And then these things get embedded in your head. Even being told you're pretty could be a negative to a person who's been abused.
Okay.
Go ahead. Because I have a friend, for instance, who she was in an abusive relationship for a long time till I found out. And her boyfriend would continually tell her, you're beautiful, but nobody else wants you because you're fat. So what does that do to your mind? The mind. So as a man thinketh, so is he.
Absolutely. So that's a way of planting these negative thoughts into your thought process.
Yes.
And when you say that about this mental, domestic violence, I don't want to say that because it's a mental part of it as well. When you say if a person is afraid to say something, if I have been hit, continually hit, that what is it that they not only just the fact that if it were me, because number one, I'm gonna fight you back. But I say that to say that if there's something going on like that, what is it that you're so fearful that if I go to the police to get help, that he's gonna be able to do to me and continue to beat me?
Because he gets out of jail.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, most young women, innocent, pure, left home, their parents say, here she is, she's yours now, take care of her. You know, that's the olden way, but that's still what we have.
When you mean say take care of her, what do you mean like?
You know, you're now the husband is now her keeper. He's her person that's supposed to be the strong person. He's supposed to secure her, give her security and strength and take care of the household. So now this woman is now probably moved with him, be a military wife or something. She now has to take a lesser job until she finds a job in her career field. So if she puts him in jail, he no longer has the income. She no longer has a house for her and her children.
Oh my God.
So it's a ricocheting effect that people don't recognize. It's not just the violence, it's the repercussions of the violence.
Oh my goodness. My.
Yeah.
I mean, this is deep.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm going to ask some questions that it's like, because I've always wanted to find out, because this is going to be a conversation, I'm sure, that's going to go on more than just today, because the fact there's so many things that I want to find answers to that, and I'm sure if people that are viewing today, if you've been there, done that, is my little cliche, got the t-shirt, then you can help somebody else by speaking out.
Definitely.
When it comes to that, when you realize, or you've taken the point where you don't want to go through this anymore, and you realize that I cannot be silent anymore, there are places here that will help people. Am I not correct?
Yes, we have at least 5 facilities. If you go online, you can just look up domestic violence help. Favor House, Swag, you know, Carolyn's. You got a few individual
Jamie's
people.
house.
Jamie's house. You have a few individual people and also community places that are secure places. He will not be able to find you. The address is not listed. The phone numbers are private. They have one general phone number for everybody, phone calls coming in. But when you call out from there, the phone numbers are secure. So you can go there and be safe, a safe house, safe places for you to go. Do not feel like you cannot go, that you cannot tell anybody. Not telling someone is now affecting your children, your children's children, their children, and so on.
I gotcha. So a question I want to find out as well. When you see these things, okay, now it also affects the children in more ways than one, because they see that I got bruises on me.
Yeah.
I didn't fall out the door.
Yeah.
I can't continue to keep falling down that same step. So with that silence, isn't that putting a scar, telling the child to say, okay, it's okay to be in a relationship like this?
Yes, it is. It tells the child that this is normal. And what you see, it's like they say, a child is a sponge.
Right.
And all you put into that sponge is what you're going to get out of that sponge when you squeeze it.
Right.
Squeeze it.
Right.
So when the pressure comes on, that mental side of it that is not normal, whatever was put into that sponge is squeezed out of that sponge.
Right.
So whatever they got into them, was instilled in them as a child, is then put out as an adult.
Absolutely. I mean, that is so unbelievable. I just don't see how to go, because I'm just a fighter. I mean, and I can tell you some things that I have experienced in my lifetime. And I mean, maybe that's why I'm divorced.
I was about to say, that might be why you're a fighter.
But the fact of it is, for people who are not, that do not, breaking the silence of that difficult time that you're going through with domestic violence. And then once you get out of that, when you got going through the steps to get that taken care of, is it difficult for that person to get themselves back in society? Are they still fearful, or do they have to go through, continually go through, get help, mental help? When I say mental, don't take that wrong. That's just somebody to talk to.
Well, I will take the word mental back for you.
Okay.
Because I believe we as a society, especially Afro-Americans, don't want to say the mental side.
Right.
Because we're taught if you go to a counselor, you're crazy.
Exactly.
No. The people who aren't going to a counselor, who need a counselor, are crazy.
Absolutely.
But in order for you to heal anything, you first have to admit you have a problem.
Right.
Just like
Alcoholic.
AA, you know, if you're a person that received domestic violence or gave domestic violence, you have to first admit you have a problem. Second of all, then you have to find the root of your problem. Where did you allow it? Where did you start thinking it was okay for it to happen? Why did you let it happen? And why are you continuing possibly to let it happen? Then you have to deal with those roots. And then from there, you have to then make peace. You have to forgive. Even though you hurt, you still have to forgive. So you have to pray, you have to get counseling, and you have to continual seeds to yourself. You have to look in the mirror, tell yourself you're beautiful. You have to go around people who are positive, stay around positive influence. Don't even try to hang out with people who have that energy. If you feel that energy, separate yourself, because you're just putting yourself back into a mental anguish of repeating in your brain that this is okay.
Okay. Well, question. Now, there's been cases where I've seen, and I'm a Law and Order fan, okay? And I've seen people that are in domestic violence, they continually go back to that person over and over and over because, oh, honey, I'm sorry. I was just tired. Oh, honey, you know I love you, and I wouldn't do anything in the world to hurt you. But the fact when you turn your head, you're going to slap my head around again. Okay, then that's a mechanism of control.
Yes. Narcissistic. This month is also Narcissistic Awareness Month.
I know a lot of those.
Yes.
I mean, but when that woman is like that, what would you say to a woman when that man comes back to you and tell you, oh, honey, I didn't mean to do it, but I got a black eye. Oh, honey, I didn't mean to do it, but my lip is swollen.
I will say two sides of it. I will say sometimes I believe the man, but he's psychologically strained himself. He's mentally disabled himself because he's already received some type of violence or feels that violence is okay. So
do you think possibly he grew up in that kind of surrounding?
Yes, definitely so. Or even not grew up, it could have been on a job. I know a person in my family who literally had a nervous breakdown from somebody touching them on the shoulder and calling them girl because they had been molested as a child. So you don't and didn't.
Did you say calling them girl?
Called him a girl, touched him on the shoulder and called him a girl.
Oh, a he?
Yeah, it was a man for a female. And she literally went through a nervous breakdown, was in the mental ward at West Florida for 6 months. But the thing is, and that root didn't show up till she was 46, and that was from childhood. And her father passed when she was like 7. So you have to deal with each phase of your life that you're in because different relationships will bring little triggers up. It also causes a PTSD, which people don't think about. Just like people going to the war and they see people shot and killed, blood in front of them. You have to think of the kids who saw their parents being beat. Right. Parents, male and female. You have to think of the kids who were beat or neglected because the mom's trying to shy away and hide and keep secure, or them trying to hide under beds. I remember us hiding under beds. So the things that you remember that certain things are triggered. Colognes can trigger it. Perfumes can trigger. See, foods can trigger. Most people don't think about. Some people don't think about the foods like carrots in your mouth or celery or slimy foods. If you see kids who don't eat like raw carrots or raw celery, or they don't like yogurt, or they don't like mushrooms, or they don't like oysters, anything smushy or seeded tomato,
I'm getting
raw
this picture in my head.
Yeah.
So we got to be more transparent. Hold on, we got to come back to this because when she said about every food she named off, I like, except the oyster. But what we're talking about domestic violence today, and if you will, please be a part of this conversation. We've got so much to talk about. And do not be afraid.
No.
Break the silence. You don't have to tell your name. But please mention the fact, if you are a survivor, that you can possibly help somebody. Or if you know of avenues that we may look over that you need to share with somebody to get that help. Let that be your voice today at 850-432-7768. It all happens right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, we believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
And welcome back to this Monday edition of Sunshine's Corner. Well, I want to continually say this. We are rapidly approaching Christmas. I mean, next week we'll be saying, 2 days countdown, because Christmas is a week from Wednesday. And I tell you, I want you to have a happy holiday season. I want you to have a Merry Christmas. And please, show some love, show some real love. Mm-hmm. And today I know it's a topic that's difficult, but I want it to become more friendly, that we can talk about the difficult things. I believe anything that needs to find a solution, you do that by talking about it. And that's the only way I think that we're going to get it, Yolanda.
Definitely.
And with the fact that we were talking about the cycle of domestic violence and breaking the silence for survivors who are out there with yourself, I have to say, I commend you.
Thank you.
Because I would probably be locked up. I mean,
it's a tough work on a daily basis.
I mean, it's all good, but it's unbelievable the things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And I tell the ladies, come on, I tell the men, if you're into something like that, and when I found out that it affects men as well, I said, okay, girls, let's get this right. Mm-hmm. Let's do this right, and let's get this world where it's supposed to be and stop all this hurting each other. We've got a phone call. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, Miss Yolanda.
Good morning.
I want to call in. This is a great episode, Sunshine, talking about domestic violence. This situation is something that's prevalent. It happens in a lot of relationships. A lot of times it starts when you're in your first relationship in high school. So a lot of high school children will be in domestic violence relationship, may not even know it or realize it. And when I was a child protective investigator in Pensacola, I went and did a training and became a subject matter expert.
Okay, so what does that mean?
That means that I went and studied on domestic violence.
Okay.
So whenever we receive domestic violence cases, investigation, I went out on those investigations to assess those situations.
And let me tell everybody now,
y'all-
hold on, Eric, let me say this. Now, everybody,
Okay.
he's saying this when he said he goes out. Now, he is a social worker. And what he does is, so he deals and he sees with a lot of this because he's into a lot of homes and a lot of kids that are being taken away because of, he has to place those children when they're in situations like this. Now, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah, and I just want to say a lot of times these situations when it's domestic violence, they don't just happen right away. It can be a situation where, hey, you're playing and this person hit you and then they apologize and it's something simple. And a lot of times you get groomed into the situation and they just want to see how you're going to respond, how you're going to react and stuff like that up front. And then they get so you let them slide this time, you let them slide the next time.
And it get worse and worse.
You're really in a deep domestic violence situation. A lot of times, a lot of women may stay, a lot of partners or people may stay when there's children involved. Because, like Miss Yolanda said, it could be financial, it could be just a number of things, it could be status, it could be embarrassment. Also, too, something that a lot of people don't know is that a lot of children are involved in the domestic violence situation too, as well, because say like a man and a woman, the man would use the kids against the mother.
Oh, yeah.
They do that. I know people do that now.
Yeah, they will have the kids abusing the mom as well, and there's nothing that the mother can do. And so it can, these domestic scenarios can be very vast and large in situation where there can just be so many people involved. A lot of times children that bullies other kids, they bully kids because that's what they see in the home, and that's the only way that that's their outlet.
Coping.
That's their way of, oh my goodness gracious.
Coping mechanisms.
Yeah, wow. And they go and bully. So a lot of children that bully is because they either getting beaten themselves at home or they seeing somebody get beat at home. So I was writing down all kind of stuff in here on my paper because I was like, oh my God, yes, this is just amazing subject matter to talk about. It's something that needs to be talked about. There is a lot of help. I'm going to definitely document the help that people can reach out to. There are restraining orders, what we call domestic violence injunctions that people can get a lot of times. And when you go to these facilities, these people will help you. They know the right information to document on those legal forms to make sure that injunction get approved or get signed by a judge for the safety of everybody that's involved. It is something that's prevalent. A lot of times people have to pay attention to what their we call perpetrators say in these situations, because they may tell them, if you ever tell somebody I'm going to kill you, you have to believe them. If you ever leave me, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. You have to believe them, and you have to follow suit to do the right things and make sure that you can protect yourself, protect your children.
Absolutely.
And one thing I always tell people, what they could do is, if you have a porch light that you never turn on or something like that, you can get your neighbor involved and say, hey, if this light ever come on,
I need help.
The color of the light or something I need help.
Right.
A lot of times there are signs and triggers when a person walks in the house. A mother or the other person may know that, okay, this is going to be a bad day. And they can go ahead and start getting their children out of the house or say, hey, go to the neighbor's house or something like that, because of the mood, if the person don't speak to you when they walk in the house or something like that. So it's a lot of signs and stuff that's out there. So I just wanted to bring that out to you, and thank you so much for providing this information and this platform today on this subject matter.
Thank you so much. We're going to touch a lot of that, because a lot of things right there, we've got to go over them. And thank you for your attentiveness and being my person that put it right there on social media.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Ms. Johnson, for being brave enough to come on the show and talk about your experience.
Yolanda. Okay.
You're welcome. One of the things that I heard you say that I really want to hit home on was the kids being bullies. Pay attention, parents. Pay attention, teachers. Teachers, your job is to report. Nursing facilities, medical facilities, your job is to report. I believe we don't report enough. Everybody want to say snitches.
Right.
I don't care about the word snitches.
Save my life.
Save my life. Save my children's life. Save the next woman, the next man's life. And that's what we don't realize, that it may not be just you and your children, because when you don't speak out, or you don't get the restraining order, or you don't do the injunction, and there is a Florida fund that if you need to relocate. I know a couple years ago it was $1,500, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you need to rush and go somewhere,
that's a lot.
For your safety, it's a lot. And there's avenues you can go into once you get where you're going. But the bullying in schools, I think teachers don't pay enough attention to it. I know of a person that was talking to me about it, and I said, that's bullying. And they didn't even recognize it as bullying. They were saying, well, it was the truth. Well, sometimes the truth hurts. And sometimes the truth that hurts is not the truth that needs to be said in front of 30 other kids.
Absolutely. And I think that what we're talking about today, domestic violence, which it affects men and women, I would encourage you to be a part of the conversation. If you are a survivor, I'd like to hear from you at 850-432-7768. You can text or call, because this is absolutely something that's going on today that we need to be most aware of, so that we can recognize the signs. Even if you are going through domestic violence yourself, what are you waiting for? Come on. There's help for you. You do not have to be that way. Nobody should be able, I should have to go through the process of going through a situation like that. And what I see when you said that, the caller said a moment ago, a child will come to school and react that way because that's what they see at home, or that's the way it's mimicked to them. That's the way the only thing that they know how. Then I think as a community, collectively, and I say this every single day, if we put our resources together and notice what is going on, then we can make a change. Change is necessary in everything. It may not feel good, but it's up to us to make sure that these persons who are going through this are in a particular situation, that we can get them the help that they need. There are a lot, and thank you, Cole. I got you just hanging on. Thank you so much. We're going to touch everything that you talked about.
And I will
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
And I will say, during this season, if you want to give somebody a gift, give them the gift of love. That means that you're paying attention to the signs and symptoms that they may be going through. And don't be afraid to ask about a bruise. And if they just nudge it off, take them to another room and ask them. Ask them again next week.
Exactly. And I know that when Eric was talking about, there was something he was talking about, the stages of domestic violence. Can you talk about that?
There are stages of domestic violence where you can be in a relationship. And everything can be great. But like we were talking about earlier, the PTSD side, that person may get a trigger. And that trigger, whatever it may be, food, smells, somebody brushing past you, a sound, can trigger that. And then they become that violent person.
Why is it that when a man is, I've seen this on many cases, where he'll go to his wife and say to her, even if there's a phone call, or there's something they want to control their every mood, is there a sense of control there? That whereas they feel like, I've got to do this in order to control this, so I'm going to impact you this way.
This takes us back to slavery.
Okay. I don't do.
I got like Holy Ghost chill bumps about this one. Yeah.
But why is that so, that a woman that feels like she will be to stay in a situation like that?
Well, in slavery, they would take the women in the house and lavish them and treat them like their own, and, you know, make babies with them, and the men would get beat. And so the men, when the women were reconnected with them, would then feel horrible about the woman, because now she's been with the other party, and so they don't feel good about the woman. So it's a tearing down of society. It's the family unit. And if we can't break the cycle, as we continue to make the same cycles, we need to break these cycles. And the only way to do that is to think about the generational curses and the roots of where these problems came from.
Well, then how would we look at it for the Caucasian side?
Well, here's the difference. Thank you for saying that, because I thought about this a minute ago. Most times the Caucasian family will take their family member in. Some reason Afro-American families don't take your family in when somebody's sick, or when somebody's domestic violence or whatever. Somehow we as Afro-Americans don't believe our family members as much as Caucasians will. They'll put you in cousin's house, they'll hide you in daddy's house, and they got their shotgun. They gonna shoot the man if he come over there trying to mess with you. We have been taught that violence is okay. And so I think that's the difference in the way things happen.
Really?
In that way.
But as we look today, violence is not okay. Okay, like with
No.
children, if there is something that's going on to the depth of what we're talking about, where Eric says that you develop the relationship with your neighbors, with your community, so that if there is something that is going on, then there is ways that that person can be on the lookout to help. But now I have seen and I have read and stories about the fact where when it's even getting to the point that they will literally kill you.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So I was wired to the bed for 3 days. My children left in their feces for 3 days. Our dog killed and left on the porch and wasn't found till I finally got loose and ran out of the house naked. And the neighbor who he was sleeping with called the police for me and wrapped me in a blanket. So it doesn't matter if they're killing your spirit, your soul, your body, your child, or your animal. It's still a death situation. And sometimes if you don't die in it, you will die because of it. Because you then lose the quality of life of what you believe in yourself, what you believe you can be, and you then too have to then heal not to do it to someone else.
Why is it that you wouldn't leave before that? I just got to ask the hard question.
For me, I was in Kansas. I was 21 years old with 2 babies. No income at all yet. In the snow. Didn't know anybody. Military town.
Did you not see any of the signs?
No, in fact, I didn't, because he was at war for most of the first year and a half of our relationship. So he had war to deal with. He had his family violence that he had never admitted to or even realized that he had went through as a child. And as he went through counseling, we found out that he was probably abused by his dad, but it was sexual abuse. And that's the thing. Violence begets violence. Abuse begets abuse. And it may not be the same form or stream, and it may come out differently in one person than the other. And like I said, whatever you put in that sponge, when you squeeze it, that stress, that pressure releases. And that's why so many people say, oh, I got angry, you know? And they did. They got angry. They got the pressure, and then it blew up. It's like a pressure pot. You put it on the stove, it's fine at first. It's boiling. Your food's cooking, everything's smelling good. And then that thing goes off. And if you open that pot, my daughter got burned by a pressure cooker. So you can't open the pot early, and you can't, because like he said, you have to know things to do, like turn on the light. And if you are going to send the kids next door, I would say one of the things I would do is put a note in the bottom of the backpack of the kid who's going to spend the night. Send them to spend the night with a friend. Put a note in the backpack. Turn the light switch on. Tell the neighbors about the light switch. And then too, you have to have good time. And sometimes when he's at work, that's the best time to leave. Do like I did. We had a small Chevy. I don't remember what that little car was. I'll say it's like an Aveo. And I packed everything I could fit in that little car. And I drove. I tried to leave 3 times. First time I went on Greyhound, he came and blocked the bus.
You went on what?
On Greyhound.
Oh, the bus.
He blocked the bus on the interstate and took us off the bus. No lie. You can check it up. Kansas City, Junction City, if you want to look it up. Second time, I left and I went to what they had there, like a favor house, a battered wife's home. I was there for 4 months. My family didn't know I was there because of the shame of what, like he said, the shame of being a young woman who's taught to be married forever, to stick by her man and take care of your household, all those glamorous things we teach our girls, you know? But we don't teach them that if that house is not glamorous, if he is not putting food in the house, if he is hurting you, if he is hurting the children, if he is hurting the animals.
What happened to him?
He went to jail, but he was in the military. So then they took him out of the regular jail and put him in the Army brig. And then he got to roam around the base as if he was a free man.
Is he still?
He's still out and about. And I think he's on his 7th wife, who all have been abused. And
how many?
7th. And
should be tired now.
And his family didn't want to agree that he was the problem. It was me that was the problem. They even tried to teach my children that. And so there's mental anguish with that. So, but now you can know by who the kid talks to, you know. So, so there's so many layers. And if you see a man or a woman who's abusing animals, or who's screaming at the kids when they're just watching TV and they're laughing at something on the TV, or they're, repeating something somebody's saying on the television show, why would a man get angry at his children having a good time watching TV?
My God. Thank God for Jesus. Listen, everybody, we're talking about domestic violence today. Again, I say these are topics that we don't talk about too often. I think that we should. And that's why I tell you every single day, this is the place you can have the difficult conversation and feel safe doing it right here. Sunshine's Corner on Blab TV.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families, and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
This is Wayne at Icon Automotive in Robertsdale, Alabama, and I wanted to tell you more about our powertrain warranty forever. It comes with any vehicle we sell that has 80,000 miles or less at no additional cost to you. We put our vehicles through a tough safety and mechanical inspection before it can have the powertrain warranty forever, giving you a peace of mind with your purchase. This warranty is good anywhere in the country, and it covers 100% of parts and labor with no mileage limit, and is covered as long as you own the vehicle. Come pick out your dealership car at non-dealership pricing with a powertrain warranty forever at Icon Automotive.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner on this Monday edition. We're talking about a topic that's not touched too often. And of course, that is domestic violence, be it man or woman, whichever is the receiver and the giver. We are finding ways that there are places here right on the Gulf Coast that you can get the help. There are places that you don't have to tell anything, that they want to help you so that you won't have to be in a situation like that. We named off several places. I know Favor House is one of them. We've got Jamie's house, and it's so many others. But the fact of it is, do not fear getting help. Mm-hmm. Do not fear yourself. Mm-hmm. Get the help that you need. And I strongly believe for those who are in cases like this, and now this is me coming out now, mm-hmm. I just think that sometimes when we don't know the truth of the matter, when I say if we don't have a relationship, and I believe in everything, we should have a relationship with God, that we can understand, and He is our protector.
Oh, yeah.
And not to think that without Him that you can do anything that's successful. It's not, I don't think it's possible. No. I mean, sure, there is an imitator out there. No. However, he will try. Mm-hmm. But that's it. He's just an imitator.
He can't win.
No, he can't. And we're talking about with children who are going through situations like this. And I tell you, Eric made quite a few points because of the fact he is a social worker, and that he works with a lot of people. I got the text. Somebody just texted me in regards to how is it that you can call and get the information out to people who really need it. And we're telling you now that there are places that will help you. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not feel just, short about it. Just make sure that you talk about what you need to talk about and get the questions asked.
And I did not sleep last night. I was up till like 3:45 this morning, and I posted a lot of things to my page, to my personal page. And I have a private page that's molested, raped, domestic violence, you name it, you can go on there. So if you have any questions, but I did post some information, some phone numbers, some facilities, some emergency phone numbers that you could privately, I don't care if you have to go to the bathroom at Tom Thumb while he's pumping gas. I don't care if he's taking a shower and you got to go in there in the kitchen and act like you frying bacon. Get on that phone. You might not have to move right then, but you need to at least let somebody know what's going on so that you can get help. And help yourself for Christmas. Give yourself a gift. Give yourself a gift of life for Christmas.
Absolutely. Let's see, we got another caller. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Sasha.
Okay, we lost that one. All I heard was good morning, then it
Sound
dropped
like
out.
Eric again.
But maybe he'll call back. But the fact of it is, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about domestic violence, and we want you to know that, look, we don't have all the answers, but there are help. There are places here with the answers that you do not have to go through a situation like that. Help is here, and you can make sure that you can get that help. Good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine again.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to add on something too as well. When people start dating or maybe liking somebody, you have to do a little research on them too as well. There are records, like you can go to Jailview to check and see if somebody have a record, and if they have anything on there that have anything that leads up to domestic violence. There's also, you can check clerk of courts. Those records are public. And you can look and see if they had any kind of criminal history there as well. Talk to family and friends or something and see what they say about that person.
Yes. Wow.
So you can already know, because if a person never went and got no help for their issues, they're going to bring those issues up on you and in your relationship to it as well.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
And I tell you guys, when he said Jailview, I know somebody go to Jailview every day. I didn't know about that. Somebody showed that to me. I said, what are you doing? But they do it every day, the good Lord saying.
Wow.
But the fact of it is, what I'm saying to everybody is, yes, those are, like I said, there are ways. And we have to be extra careful. I've always said this. And thank you, Eric. We're going to touch that one now, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
What I'm saying is this, though. Listen to this. For the women or men who are single and you're looking to date, be careful.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And I will tell you, you can wind up on Jailview trying to protect yourself.
Huh?
I
laugh because I know somebody looks at Jailview every day.
I actually took in someone who was homeless, me and my husband, and he tried to rape me, and I had to stab him, so I'm on Jailview. I mean, I want to be totally transparent today to help someone. So like he said, you do have to look. We worry about credit reports and things like that, but we don't worry about background checks. And then we have to look into background checks and make sure we know why these incidents happens. Don't just read the charge, read the file to find out, were they charged, were they convicted, were they released and set free because the other person was at fault. These are all sensitive subjects.
So you check Jailview too?
Oh, I don't check Jailview. I used to work for the county.
Oh, I'm just back on
I worked with the prison, so I know Jailview.
But even with the fact that with Jailview, there's sometimes people nowadays, back in the day, I'll say it like this, when you went out on a date, it wasn't like that. I mean, but I'm sure, and I'm not saying that domestic violence wasn't there then, because it was, because it's been around for umpteen thousand years. However, but today, I think people jump into relationships so fast. I'm in love so quick. I'm so happy that, and you are really right there with a dictator.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get that.
Yeah. I think we, as a society, have lost the sense of belonging. So people now want to belong to everything. You see so many new groups and so many new cliches and red parties and white parties. People want to belong to something. They want to feel like they're part of something. So they get in these relationships and not getting themselves healthy, first of all. You have to first get yourself mentally healthy, physically healthy, financially healthy, in order to be able to be whole yourself to go into a relationship. Because no matter whether you're whole or he's whole or she's whole and he's half, whatever, you can't bring two unhealthy people or one unhealthy and a healthy person together and consider it to be healthy. It's not a good mathematical equation.
I invite everybody, if you will go on Pastor Creflo Dollar's page, he says, he's got this little 2-minute thing. He said, always, oh yeah, I'm in the church. I found me somebody. He's, ask them what their mama and them did, what their uncles did, what your credit report. Can you pay for your own funeral? Can you buy a car? Or what's your credit score? Is that your hair or is that somebody else's hair? Is that, you know what I'm saying? Is that your lashes? Are those fake? You need to know every part about a person. And when Creflo Dollar did that, I thought that was so true. Because just because, I went to church, so I got me, that don't mean nothing.
No. And I will say on both sides, there are people who are in the church who are trying to work through their healing, and there's people in the church that's trying to be predators, and there's people in the church that haven't found their healing yet. It's like anything in society. There's 3 phases of anything. There either you're in it, you're coming through it, or you're out of it.
Right.
And you have to realize which phase you're in. And you can be still part and part. You can still be kind of in it and coming out of it.
Right.
I consider myself still in it and coming out of it, only because I keep myself in it to help others.
Right.
And so in order to help others, I'm my most true, authentic self by letting myself still be in touch with the emotions of the pain. And like I was telling you on one of the breaks, sometimes we don't realize things we do even to our kids, taking your kids to a person continually that's abusing them, makes them think that it's okay to be abused as an adult. Because they think, well, my mom or dad took me to this person and they hurt me. This must be okay.
I mean, but it's so many points to this. We could talk about this for days and days and days, but the fact of it is, we want to break the silence. It's what the most important thing that we're trying to convey to you today. If you are in a relationship and you know that there's something not right in that relationship, don't be silent. Speak out on that. We're going to talk more about speaking out when we come back right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Welcome to Little John's Big and Tall, where tall men and big men go for style, fit, and comfort. We offer a wide variety of styles and unique brands that service all sizes from large to 14X, as well as tall sizes from large tall to 6X tall. Our knowledgeable staff are here to make sure you have a stress-free experience and answer any of your questions. Little John's has been named Best of Pensacola and Best of the Bay for 4 years in a row. Visit Little John's at 5700 North Davis or visit us online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com.
It's time to find a health plan that can keep up with your life. A plan that makes getting care convenient, with doctors around the corner.
I can get used to that.
Plus, 24/7 access to care. Plans that keep more money in your pocket, with plan payments as low as $0.
$0. Looks good to me.
Let's find your health solution. Speak to a dedicated Florida Blue agent today. Call 1-850-393-7036 to learn more.
Some attorney ads are really over the top, within-your-face concepts. Not this one, because there's nothing exciting about bankruptcy law. But if you're struggling with credit card debt, medical bills, student loans, repossession, or mortgage payments, you'll want to hear this. Lewis & Jernevoy has helped thousands of people with financial problems for over 20 years. We may be able to help you achieve financial freedom, and that is exciting. Call Lewis & Jernevoy today for a free consultation.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to this Monday edition of a very strong topic. We're talking about domestic violence. Hopefully your Monday is well and you are sitting, taking notes, and if there are things that's going on. And what we were talking about as we were doing commercial break, I want to talk to, not even just to the younger girls. I see it a lot in the generation behind me. Self-esteem. Such low self-esteem. And you allow these things to happen. And I believe, I don't want to just put myself in the spot when I say this. I can only talk about me. Now, my ex-husband, no, I didn't play that mess. I mean, come on. But the fact of it is, and know your worth. Know who you are. And I know sometimes people may feel like they have this over you, but don't allow that to continue. Break the cycle. Speak out. Break the silence. Talk to somebody because you can. There's nothing that you're waiting on that you're not doing anything that you cannot get this help. Favor House is there to help. It's totally private. Jamie's House, there to help. Totally private.
Yes.
And there are other entities right here in Pensacola that can help people. And your children, bring your children. If you're a man, they got places for you as well.
Yes.
I didn't look up those because I always think domestic violence woman, but it's a man as well. And I say that because we have got to take heed, to take hold, to know your worth, and that is not one way that you have to go. That's not love. That's no way nobody can tell you love me, you're going to beat me down, but that's love.
No. And that's what broke my cycle, was because I was the young Christian woman, got married, tend to be married forever, and somebody finally said to me, God would not allow some man who loved you to beat you.
No way. And don't get into a relationship thinking that it's always one way. That's control there. Now that is also domestic.
Yes.
If I've got to say yes to everything that you say, take a look at that picture.
Yes.
Two people are not gonna agree on the same thing always. You've got to have this of your own. That's a form of control.
Yes.
If I never ever can be myself and speak my point.
Yes.
That there's always a dictator and I am the one that's being dictated to. No, it doesn't work that way.
That's narcissistic behavior, which that's this month awareness. But in that, control is another form of abuse. Domestic violence has so many layers. It's not just hitting. It's not, it could be verbal, it could be mental, it could be, psychological, it could be food, financial. There's so many layers. And the other thing I want to say to the domestic violence thing is it's not always husband and wife or girlfriend and boyfriend. It could be classmates, it could be co-workers, it can be, even you go somewhere to a community organization every day and somebody there is doing something that you feel the energy, you feel that negative energy, and you're like, why are they always picking on me? Why are they at church? You might have somebody always there that's like always, so you have to recognize domestic violence is not just husband and wife. It's not just girlfriend and boyfriend. It's somebody who you're in a domestic situation, means you have some type of involvement with, who now is abusing you physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, like I said, financial or food or whatever it may be, or even holding things back. But the topic she was talking about with the young girls and young women feeling, having self-esteem, low self-esteem, and knowing your worth, I think that that gets killed very early on, and parents don't realize how bad they are. And we've heard this in the past. We haven't heard it as much lately, where you talk down to your kids. You're nothing. You're not going to be anything. You need to sit your little butt down somewhere, calling the girls out of their name, calling the boys out of their name. That is vicious behavior, parents, and I'm calling you out. You cannot say those things to your child and expect them to become something great. You cannot say that to your child and expect them to think good of themselves. You cannot say that to your child and not think that they're going to be in an abusive situation later. You're putting oil on the fire, gas on the fire.
Oh, wow. Okay, you started that flame. Wow, I can't believe we're down to 3 minutes already. We have not been able to touch so many things that I wanted to touch, but I thank God that we were able to talk about it. And we are going to come back to this conversation again to go into it more depth because of the fact that it happens every single day. And if you are a person today that's viewing, or if you this afternoon, I'm going to say this because the show will come back on again this afternoon at 6 o'clock. I encourage you, if you have not made that step, to stop waiting. If you're in a situation, there are places that you can get help. Mm-hmm. Do not allow anything or anybody to take away or to abuse you in any type way, because you don't have to stand for that. You don't have to take that. There are too many entities out there that will help you. And it's up to you to walk away. Don't let it be said that you waited too late to do that. And Yolanda, I can't thank you enough. And I mean, if a person wants to get in touch with you, because I know that you are an advocate in the community, that you do a lot, you reach out to help a lot. I call her a lot. That I need you to help me with this and get that.
It's okay.
And but the fact of it is that they want to get in touch with you. How can they?
My personal number, which is also my public number, 850-378-9084. I have a total of 5 Facebook pages.
Wow.
Yolanda J. Ortiz, Yolanda Jackson Ortiz, Miss Yolanda Ortiz, Miss Yolanda's Mission, and the Molested, Rape, Abuse. And that one is a private one, so you don't even get to come in until I allow you to. But that's for the protectiveness of the people in the group. But I will say, I posted it on Facebook page, the hotline number, and I also have it on my pages, and I think I linked her on those, but if not, I'll add. For the descriptions of domestic violence and the symptoms and things that you can do for resolution.
Absolutely.
And the peace of God is the best thing.
Oh, I tell you, he'll give it to you. It's been a fantastic Monday, Yolanda, and I can't say thank you enough for jumping up on this Monday to help us get the week started off. And ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is Tuesday. It's going to be Talk About It Tuesday. We're going to talk about some things that you want to talk about. I've got some guests that's coming in that's really going to shout you out with some things that are going on. I've got to go now, but I got to leave it as I do every single day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus, my dear friends. Always remember this one thing, and I believe this from my heart. If you keep God first in any and everything that you do, I guarantee you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for another day of nothing but sunshine right here at Sunshine's Corner. Know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. Have a happy holiday season.
Happy holidays.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.